Guys and gals, welcome to episode 10 of Comics Remixed. This episode, we talk DC allocating a lot of books that a lot of retailers just aren't happy about.
We're talking Kickstarter, man, giving a nod to the indies, and also how to properly go about starting off your Kickstarter.
Guardians of the Galaxy movie coming up, as well as a special spotlight at Forever Young, and the new Heroes of Cosplay TV show. Good, bad, purely ugly. Let Cary let you know how it was.
Exploiting subculture,
Pretty
possibly.
much. Pretty much. So no Paparillo's Point this episode as well. He'll be back next time. But in the meantime, enjoy this great episode of Comics Remixed.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Comics Remixed. I'm David Sanchez here with
Junior.
All right, we're starting off with Kickstarter is in the news. There's always good reasons for Kickstarter being in the news. They do great things, but more so because of a project that was on Kickstarter that made its entire goal in one day.
Which is
And
amazing.
And still has
Really
2
think
weeks
about it.
left, Junior.
I'm trying to stay there.
Thank you. I appreciate you putting your phone away.
Just trying to
But
figure
yeah,
out
this project still has 2 weeks left.
That's
Can you imagine
crazy.
how much money? It's for a comic book, so most comic book projects they aim for like the tens of thousands.
So it is for a comic.
It is for a comic.
Is it an independent book?
Albert Einstein, the Time Mason. It is. It started off the main guy on this is one of the Xenoscopes alums. So from your people,
Okay.
you know the guy's his name is actually Tony Donnelly. Does that
Okay.
ring, you know who that guy is?
It rings a bell.
He started this off. This book is basically an adventure book. He saw some documentary on the Discovery Channel about Albert Einstein, and from there he just imagined Albert Einstein as like this Doctor Who-ish, Indiana Jones kind of character, just going through time and bending reality to
Okay.
solve whatever problem he's got to solve. And it's a hit, man. In one day it achieved its goal, and right away that made me think about Wizard World. We were just at Wizard World this past weekend, and I actually, don't go there. You saw Junior's face.
We'll do a Wizard World review next episode.
Hold the rage. Hold it in.
Rage, no spoilers. I love that damn thing.
Okay. Hey, I believe it was on Friday. I was there. I was riding solo. The crew wasn't there, but I got to sit in at one of the panels. It was hosted by the Sun Brothers. Not super popular right now. They're independent. They're from Chicago, of Chinese American descent. So it's good to just have that POV and having that in the comic market, because their book is called Chinatown.
Okay.
And it's horror based. So it's a very, very interesting. They got a lot of interesting things going on. If you go on Kickstarter, they should still be up. Look up the Sun Brothers. They have a very good video posted up. I attended their panel because you've dropped it on me. You brought up you want to do a Kickstarter. I've actually been the more like no, let's not do it yet, and it was always difficult.
So you went to this panel with me in mind.
Yeah, with a lot of questions actually.
Nice.
With a lot of questions, because I wouldn't have known like what to do, how to market it. I mean, is it just another thing? I mean, I've seen it done.
Right.
But when you see it on Facebook, it's a lot of your friends that are like posting it up and then asking their families for money.
Because
Right?
they just want something, like, hey, I want a new sports car, help me out.
Yeah, and to me that never really looked right.
Right.
Like there has to be just more to it. I mean, if someone like Art Baltasar, this dude from Zenscope, if freaking Spike Lee has a Kickstarter, I could understand why they do it, because they have such a huge fan base already.
Right, correct.
Okay, but these guys, I don't know where they didn't have that. They laid out some very important points on what to do before you even think about doing a Kickstarter. Before you even just jump the gun and it's like, I'm going to register for this thing, make some quick video on my movie maker, and then let it sit there. One of the important points, first of all, was to having a very good, well-produced intro movie to your project. Intro movie as in the movie, this little short explains the project.
Right.
But they made it a point to have it well produced. If you watch theirs on Kickstarters, there's a lot of comedy in there. It's They do a lot of really good shots, really good editing. It looks homemade, so I'm not gonna overly hype it. But the reason that they say that is because that they were stressing that point is because Kickstarter has several ways for a Kickstarter project to be on the home page.
Okay.
The home page of anything, you get more views. Right? If one of the editors on Kickstarter, they like your video, boom, front page.
Right.
So that's one point right there. Another point, start with a huge buzz, which I'm glad that we're thinking about it now because we have a more loyal fan base.
Thank you.
They on their end, they were going to many cons, as many as possible. They were talking to as many editors as possible. They were on the social media, so they collected this buzz already.
Okay.
This little following, and I feel like we're there, kind of, high five. Thank you guys too, because when you start a huge buzz, and you initially start off and you do your launch on Kickstarter, starting off with a good spike of donations, that also gets you on the front page.
Yeah, because it shows that people have interest right away.
Boom, there you go. So each one of these points is a good way of getting attention from Kickstarter. The third one, making appearances, which kind of goes along with the second point, but it's really getting on cons, hosting specific events, whatever, anything you could think of, any way that you can market yourself,
right,
is also very important. And third, making noise as far as being printed on the news, get the news
Get
involved,
out there, the advertising.
get someone that will circulate your story.
Okay.
Not just you on Facebook and Twitter, but try to get another party involved where they're gonna write an article like, hey, these guys from Chicago, they're nerdy and talk crap,
Right,
they're pretty cool guys. So all these things will bring up different spikes on Kickstarter.
There you go, for you people who want to start up a Kickstarter and you've been thinking about it. Hopefully this helps you out a little bit more. It informs you with something that you did not already know.
Well, also another thing that most Kickstarters might not think about too is the back end of things. One word that you're probably tired of me throwing around is the word logistics.
Actually, no.
No?
I zone you out sometimes.
Okay. Oh, thank you. Appreciate the honesty. My wife, she works in operations, and this word logistic comes up a lot. And it's
Is that
basically
why you use it a lot? Because she uses it a lot?
well, also it's a good way to summarize, the back end of things. Aside from your Kickstarter, have you thought about the post Kickstarter life? Have you talked to printers to set stuff up? Have you thought about the cost of your shipping?
So you need to have your plan set, not just on how you want to get started, but how you're going to continue the momentum of having it rolling and seeing it into fruition.
Well, because on top of that, there's going to be a lot of troubleshooting too. They were
course.
telling me how USPS, when they were doing their shipping, they go on their website, they'll find certain things about their regulations, how they regulate pricing for packages, and then they'll go to a USPS store, and it's like each store was just like its own sentient being and different things.
Right. Like the store might tell you something. No, I know exactly what you mean.
You do a lot of eBay. You're probably familiar with that. So you have to bring in that mindset too, or else you end up shipping out like water damaged books, or your book might never ever get there. Which, speaking of which, logistics, your boys at DC, they're dropping the ball, man.
Why they gotta be my boys? You see me rocking a Marvel shirt, right?
I know, honestly, they're my boys, but like, honestly, what's up with that?
Dude, for those that don't know, the last episode where we reported September, DC's doing their anniversary thing again, Forever Evil, it's called Villains Month. They decided to do point issues, like point 1, point 2, each issue spotlighting a specific villain. Every cover was going to be highlighted by a 3D lunar lector cover, or whatever they're called, basically like a hologram-ish looking thing.
Is it? Oh, you know what? Is it like one of those, like when you move, it looks like the character moves?
Yeah.
Okay,
One of those.
Yeah.
They did one a while back, I guess, as a testing ground for Superman Unchained at San Diego. This book is like $600-700, $800, almost up to $1,000.
Like, really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I saw somebody with it at Wizard World.
How did they make that into an exclusive? I mean,
The reason you make
about
what's
it.
DC?
Well, but still thinking about it, the process on making that, to create that, it's actually a lot of layering of sheets to make that effect, and then the plates, how the colors are set up. That's expensive, man.
It is. But DC went ahead and told people, because you remember with retailers and stuff, you have to order your stuff 2 months in advance.
Right,
It's
right.
advance solicited. So they went ahead and told fans that they were going to ship every book at $3.99 for that month. There's 52 issues. Big surprise. Not every new 52 title has one though. Certain books, certain titles, I should say, like Batman,
Okay.
he has 4 issues. Detective Comics has 4 issues. You know, so it all just depends on who the villain is. But every 3D cover is supposed to be cover priced at $3.99, regardless if that's the regular monthly price or if it's a normal $2.99 book. Now, with the process of making these covers, DC's come out and said that they're going to allocate every retailer's orders. Pretty much, they're not going to be able to fill the orders because the demand was higher than the supply. Knowing that it's 2 months in advance that you're doing this, but they went ahead and predicted a X amount. That okay, we're going to print X amount because we don't think people are going to order. When they know damn good and well that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Because they also, on the side note, printed enough 2D covers to cover for the allocations. So let's say you're not getting 100% of your books. You might say you're only going to get 50% of your order. The other 50% will be filled by the basic 2D covers. I smell a rat. I smell DC trying to say, well, you know what? We need to get our books buzzing again. Besides this, let's cut the cost, or let's cut the print amount. People are going to want it more. Hence, instant back mark or black.
But that's
second
not what they said.
markup.
Their actual statement was,
Well, I know. Go ahead.
there was a physical limit to how many copies we could print due to the availability of the special cover stock.
Yeah, no, that's cool. It's cool. You know, going into this,
How can you not assume people are going to like this? Is actually a pretty good gimmick. When you think about gimmick
Right.
covers, this is way better than a sketch cover. Better than a foil cover any day. It takes me back
to a point, depending.
takes me back to the
90s.
to the X-Men
The
covers
X-Men
when they
stuff.
have the little holofoil.
The hologram on
yeah,
the corner.
hologram. Yeah.
The Fatal Attraction storyline.
How can you assume that everybody wouldn't want it?
Yeah, especially nowadays. You've been out of it so long. Obviously, the variant covers are back in, no matter whether you're a hardcore collector, what kind of collector you are, and you can sit there and gripe about there being 50 covers to every issue, or you can be happy about it. Regardless, the fact that people are still buying and retailers are still ordering the amounts that they have to order in order to get these crazy variants shows that there's still a market for it. So why not? Back with the issue 19s of all of DC's books, they went ahead and shipped gatefold covers for every issue.
Yeah.
Crazy gimmick, and it worked. But the high-end ones on those, just as a side note, were the ones that you could find at newsstand, at Barnes & Noble, and at Toys R Us. Certain books like Detective Comics, Batman, Action Comics, books like that, the newsstand variants weren't gatefold covers. They were single covers.
You as a person that works at a shop,
Mhm.
has any buzz come in yet from your customers? Like any
About
people
these 3D
that
covers?
that expected them?
You know, nothing positive.
Too soon?
Nothing positive. Basically, the main thing I've heard, and not just at the store I work at, but other stores as well, I'm talking to other customers online and whatnot, they feel that jacking the price up $1 for some of these titles already strains their wallets as it is. And then to figure out that some of these are not just going to be one issue. Like, for instance, a lot of people read Batman. Now, instead of shelling out the $3.99 a month they have to do for Batman, they're going to have to shell out $16 for Batman just to get their full fix, because it's 4-issue shipping. You know, and a lot of people aren't happy about that 3D cover or not.
All right, from back of the house, any word from management? Like how are they? Any angry calls to Diamond?
Not at liberty to speak on that.
Really? That intense?
Not at liberty to speak.
That much anger?
All I can say is that, God, how do I word this correctly? DC, the guy in charge, I'm not saying his name, but we will say his initials match that of a famed DC character, is supposedly out sick while all this is going on. And he's the one that's supposed to be answering for this. So retailers who've contacted DC to issue their complaints about this, like, and I'll say there, I know, speaking as working at the retail shop that I work at, I know these guys, the owners are angry because now we cannot fill our customer orders. We have customers pre-ordering these books because, you know, they want the 3D cover. Our job as a retailer is to make your customer happy. And now with DC allocating it, it's going to make us look like, well, we couldn't come through for you and couldn't provide. The kicker here, one of the articles I was reading about this DC thing is, DC has also gone on to say that not every single retailer will be allocated. Most will. Some will receive their full order. Now the question is, how do they do that? How
Picking
do they,
favorites?
Exactly. Are you going to pick your favorites of people like maybe Mile High or Midtown Comics or Lone Star Comics in Texas, or any of these big retail chains, maybe a Graham Crackers? Are they going to get theirs just because they're so big, and then all those smaller stores get screwed over?
Sounds like some special deals are made behind the scenes.
It's something. DC dropped the ball on it. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
DC dropped the ball.
Well, from DC dropping the ball, we got some pretty cool stuff happening with our boys at Marvel, whatever. The way that they're hyping up Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, this movie is looking to be huge. The star power in the movie alone, it's just like, it's almost like you could look at it like Avengers, like a who's who. You know, you've got a lot of big Hollywood, maybe not some that are absolutely huge, maybe like a Robert Downey Jr. or Chris Evans or Sam Jackson, but you still have got names like right now, as you know, personal feelings aside, Michael Rooker. He's making waves of his Walking Dead character, and he was also cast in the Guardians of the Galaxy. Former WWE star Batista is cast as Drax. You know, hey, who cares about his acting? He's got the look. You know, and for a character like Drax, you really don't need a lot of lines.
You don't. He's just he's an aggressive guy.
Exactly.
He's gonna smash people up.
You know, and dude, I was amazed. There's a trailer. I don't know if Marvel's pulled it down yet, but there's a trailer online that leaked from San Diego Comic-Con. Somebody took it with their cell phone of the Guardians of the Galaxy movie. I guess it was specially screened at San Diego. Somebody happened to just, well, I'm recording this and posting it online. So if you do find it, the quality's obviously not the greatest, but from the few seconds that they did show, this movie looks action-packed. It looks great. And then they didn't skip on the comedy either. The part that just stands out for me is after the whole montage, John C. Reilly, of all people, from Step Brothers. For the guys that don't know, he was Will Ferrell's stepbrother in Step Brothers. What was the movie he played where he was...
Talladega Nights. He was
in Talladega Nights. The movie I'm thinking of...
Walk Tall.
Walking Tall. Or Walk Tall, whatever it was.
The Johnny Cash spinoff.
Yeah. So he's in the movie. And he looks up at the camera and he goes, these guys call themselves, they're supposed to be the space police or whatever. They call themselves the Guardians of the Galaxy. And you hear a voice from off screen go, what a bunch of assholes. And then from there it cuts and you see the suspect line, you know, the height.
Yeah.
And you see Drax, you see Rocket Raccoon in the middle.
Suspects.
Yeah, the usual suspects. And Rocket Raccoon just kind of looking both.
What do you think of
I just thought it was great.
A Rocky Raccoon? That
Dude,
actually looks pretty cool.
I mean, dude, at the end of the day, it is a raccoon with a bunch of guns.
That's it.
You know, so you really can't... for those of you who are going to be out there when this movie comes out or when the actual images are released and you're going to complain, oh, he doesn't look right. He is a raccoon with guns.
Have fun with it.
That is something you have to take lightly. You cannot sit there and put a huff and puff about it. You know, dude, it's a raccoon with guns.
And don't forget Groot.
And Groot, yeah.
A giant tree kills.
That says, I am Groot. That's all he says. The rumor has it also that Vin Diesel's Marvel meeting was to voice Groot. But then they're like, well, why pay somebody as big as Vin Diesel just to have him say, I am Groot, over and over? That's a big check just to have him say that. It's kind of a waste. So, but that's one of the head rumors besides him actually appearing as the Vision in Avengers 2.
Is that set in stone, the Vision? Is that set in stone, or is that still...
The only one that's set in stone as far as new characters for Avengers 2 is Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch.
The more and more I think about it, the more and more I could envision him as the Vision, because the Vision doesn't really require much emotion.
No, exactly.
No.
Exactly.
So
somebody was telling me that he's really not tall in real life. Was it you? Somebody told me that Vin Diesel is actually really short. If you want to look for him at a convention, you kind of have to look toward the ground.
It's okay. It's how you film him.
Yeah, totally. Because, I mean, he looks like a monster in these Fast and Furious movies.
I think the moment he tries to show emotion with the Vision, he kills the entire movie.
Kind of like the first Riddick.
Yes.
I wasn't a fan. I'm sorry. If it's a good movie, it's a good movie. But
the story, I really like the story.
The story was good.
The concept of it was really good.
No, totally. Yeah. It's just the execution.
The look of part 2 was pretty cool.
Whatever. That's a whole nother.
That's
thing.
a whole nother thing. That's a whole nother thing, man.
No Paparella's point this episode is John could not be with us. It's all good though. We've got something else in store for you. Our Movies Remix segment, Cary and David are going to be discussing this new cosplay show that's aired on the SyFy channel called Heroes of Cosplay. Cary, if you guys didn't know, is a big cosplayer. He's into this stuff. This is like his religion, so he takes this stuff very seriously. Did he like the show? Did he not like the show? David's going to moderate that coming up in Movies Remixed. But coming up next on a very special segment of The Spotlight, we spotlight Forever Young, a toy store in the Elmwood Park area, I believe. Are we in Elmwood Park? I'm sorry.
We're near Harlem and
Harlem and Belmont. So, guys, watch this segment, and please do yourselves a favor, come visit the store, which is actually where we are filming from today.
Thanks for having us, Kaye.
Kaye, thank you for having us. So stay tuned for that, guys, coming up next.
Thank you very much. Everybody, thank you very much for joining us. We're here at Forever Young, being hosted by Kaye Huffman. Thank you very much for having us.
You're welcome.
We appreciate it. You have an awesome story here. I cannot stop looking around. We've been filming all day, and I'm pretty sure on camera, this is me, just looking everywhere else except the camera. Where can we find this store?
It's 7701 West Belmont in Elmwood Park.
Okay.
And it's just west of Harlem.
Okay.
And Chicago's across the street.
How does this happen, Kaye? How does this immense amount of inventory happen?
It started 27 years ago. My daughter and I were walking through I think she had just gone through a divorce. She had a 6-month-old son. I had gone through a divorce, and she couldn't go out and get a regular job. So we were going through this antique mall in Chicago on Racine and Armitage. Great place.
So the divorce made her crazy. And she bought a bunch of toys.
No, not at all.
You could say it's okay. She's your daughter.
Anyhow, we were walking through this, and everybody had different stuff, and we said, my God, we got lots of stuff at home. I mean, whether it's stuff that she collected or glassware or you name it. It wasn't toys. We weren't into toys then. And so we rented a space for a weekend.
Okay.
That started it.
Oh, you mean like at a flea market? You rented a space?
Yes, it was an antique mall. It was only open on a Sunday, I think.
Are you still doing the flea market scene? Where can we find you on the weekends?
Well, once in a while I do the
Once in a while?
All-State. Yeah, not very
okay.
often, no.
All right, so
And I do the toy show. The King
you
County
said you
toy
said you
show.
guys already had stuff at home before you started buying stuff.
But it wasn't toys as much, though she was a big Smurf collector.
Okay.
It was glassware, depressionware, lamps, old everything.
Wow.
And so we just got the space, and I think we ended up doing it for a second weekend, and somebody walked through with a box of G.I. Joe and wanted $50 for it. And I looked at my daughter and I said, gee, Cary, why would anybody pay $50 for an old G.I. Joe?
I don't know.
So anyhow, the fellow next to us in the next booth said, yeah, get it. So we ended up buying it, and I think the next weekend we sold it for $200. And that's sort of
So how did that go from flea marketing to actually you own the building?
But we've only been here 17 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. From there, we were there for a couple, maybe 2 years, and then they closed it. And by the time they closed it, we were into toys. And I think lunch boxes were things that I really loved. Barbies, G.I. Joes, and Star Wars. I think that was basically, and then just about everything,
Wow.
And we had this booth, and I had lunch boxes just on ropes above the booth just to decorate it. And then somebody came out with a book on lunch boxes, and then
it exploded.
It really exploded.
Isn't that how usually it happens?
Right, this is back
Someone
in I think
highlights,
86 or 87,
Yeah,
right.
someone highlights like a tchotchke or old toy, and all of a sudden everybody goes
all of
crazy.
a sudden everybody wanted lunch boxes, and everybody knew I had them, so everybody brought them to me, and so I had lots of them.
Good for you.
Yes, it was fun. Yeah. And so anyhow, after they closed the flea market, and we had all this stuff, we just didn't know what to do with it, and so got a small little building on Western Avenue in Chicago, and it was probably a fifth of the size of this,
Oh, so you were actually more inside the city?
Oh yeah,
On Western?
Western and Fullerton.
Okay.
Western and Fullerton, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I always lived in
Oh,
lived
okay.
in Chicago. I always lived in Lincoln Park or Wicker Park.
And then you guys ended up here.
Yes, we were there, I think, maybe 6-7 years. And then she moved out to Elmwood Park, only because she wanted better schools for sons.
Those children. Always messing up life, right?
Yeah. And so then it just, she found this building one day that was empty for years, I guess. It was an old drugstore. And she said, oh, Mom, we got it. This is perfect, just perfect for a toy store. So that's how we ended up
Do
here.
people still walk in here looking for Tylenol and walk out with G.I. Joes?
No, not yet. But they always come in and say, "Oh, I remember this when I was a kid. We used to come here, and the soda fountain was over there." And yes, they all remember the drugstore.
All right, okay. Well, right now you're gonna take us and the viewers on a tour of this place. I want you to point out some of your most favorite pieces. All right.
They're all favorite.
All right, let's go.
Okay.
On our first stop, we have some of Kaye's favorites here. Her GI Joes, spanning pretty much these two cases right here.
No, I think
What do you have displaying over here?
Well, these are vintage ones here. From the '60s and the '70s. This one too is the one in the box. It's from the '60s. These are more recent ones, like from '95, '96.
I see you have a lot of the accessories
I have
separately.
Yes,
is
I
that
have
for a reason? Is that
boxes
because
of-
over time people just lose things?
Well, they lose things, and they're always looking for a special gun or a special hat. Or yes, I've got boxes and boxes.
So
of
these are very
accessories that I bring
valuable on
out.
their own, right?
Well, they're not really that valuable.
Well, to some-
of
to
them
a
are-
hardcore
some-
collector.
Yeah, if they really, yes, most of them are a couple dollar things.
What are these guys right here?
Those are some of the pamphlets that were in the boxes with the GI Joes.
Next to your GI Joes, you have.
This is Big Jim. Here.
Are these the people who would get blown up while you're playing GI Joes? I'd blow these
I have
things
heard
out.
so many stories of guys who have taken their GI Joes and blown them up in the sandbox, or their mother sold them at a.
Well, that's good for collectors because they
Yes,
made them more
because
exclusive,
That's
right?
They did. That's
Yeah.
why they are so exclusive, because they were played with and they were wrecked. And the same thing with the Star Wars.
Is that a spacesuit right there? What is that? Is
Yeah,
that-
that's an astronaut.
Is that from like a special anniversary? Yeah. Anything-
No, that was an old one.
That's an
That's
old
from
one?
the '60s. Yeah.
I want to play with that right now.
want
I
me to
choose
get
to
that
stop
off?
this interview and just play
Okay,
with
go
that.
ahead.
Walking over here. Anything right here that really piques your interest that you really love that really
Well,
stands
I
out
wish
to
I
you?
could say, like this was always my Lone Ranger section. All I got left is a little Tonto and his buddy. I don't have a Lone Ranger anymore. Things have changed this last couple of years.
Where are these horses from? Like, are these like old school?
Well, yeah, these are Heartlands.
Okay.
This one I'm not sure. That might be a Briar.
I see this tackle box down here.
That again, it's usually
Can this be
filled-
opened?
Sure.
It says, please do not touch.
Oh, that
Oops.
was turned over there. No, actually, the one I had a wooden one that I had all the original things in.
The wooden one, was that the packaging?
No, the wooden box. This is a remake. This is, I think, came out in the '90s. But in fact, it's in the back. The wooden one. Yeah, I don't have a wooden one here now. Do you want me to get it?
Oh my god, open this, Kaye, or else I'm just gonna open it.
I'm not sure what's even in here now. It's probably. Gosh.
The box itself is cool. Have a lot of people
It's like a
bought
stack of
this
money.
kind of packaging just for decorative purposes?
Well,
Just like the
originally, I think
lunchbox.
originally some of them came with the Joe in it.
Oh, so this is like a collector's tackle
Well,
box,
it's
right?
where they put all their accessories, and we have a Joe, like the other one I think is full of odds and ends. Oh, in fact, this is what happened to one of the other ones. I had a patch full of all these little things like this.
Is
Little
that what's in these
backpacks.
binders here? Is there
Yes,
more accessories?
that's all more accessories, yeah.
How much stuff do you have in here? Can you do like an entire play set? Look at this, utility belts.
A little bit of everything.
Do a lot of people carry
Uniforms.
these? Carry stuff like this? Do you know? Is it
I'm sure
very
any
familiar?
of the, probably. When you go to toy shows, there's always somebody that has this, that sells this.
Have any little girls ever walked in here and just put army outfits on their Barbies?
Probably. There's always somebody that customizes dolls, and they're always looking for a certain pair of pants or a shirt or something,
As we walk down, we're getting more into Star Wars over here.
That's Star Wars, yeah. And that is a mixture of vintage and newer things.
I see
These
some
are
of
all
these.
older vintage ones.
Yeah,
They're from the
I was gonna
70s.
say the package. It looks like there's discoloration on the plastics right there.
Yeah, that's just a plastic covering on there.
How old are those? Right?
77.
77.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well,
This van is from 77. These are most of
the
these-
Star Wars van, because you need
Yeah.
a van in space. It's
I guess
awesome.
so, awesome. I mean, right now there's just a little bit of everything sort of mixed in here. I've got I have autographs on some of them. This is autographed by the fellow who
Where are
played
the
Charlie.
smaller toys from? Is that from a playset? Like,
No,
I see right
there's-
here.
they just
Diecast
die-cast
figures.
pieces, yeah.
Okay. Coming on this way.
Some Star Trek,
A blaster.
Tron.
I don't care where that's from. I just want to play with that.
Okay. Well,
These Tron
my
figures,
keys aren't here.
those look pretty old.
Those are, yeah, the original ones, 82. It's not that old, but they're from 82.
I don't even recall seeing these at a convention. Like, is that a set where they packaged that way?
No, they were, packaged like a regular single figure. I don't have any in the package now, but I did have.
Any of these that you want to personally highlight that just stand out to you? You said you had a lot more than this before, right?
Oh, yeah, probably a lot in Star Trek, Star Wars, Star Trek, those back there, Next Generation, those are older packaging.
At one point, you even attempted to sell online, right, and not just have the store.
Well, the thing that's killing me here is the taxes.
The taxes.
Just paying the taxes is killing me, and my daughter has been ill recently, so she can't physically help me anymore. And so, actually, 3 years ago, I tried to sell a building. I've been trying since, and I needed money to pay my real estate taxes. And I had a so-called friend who I've known for 10 years who said, oh, he does this for everybody. I don't know anything about computer. I'm illiterate when it comes to it. And I didn't want to be. I've never wanted. The internet has hurt, shows. It's hurt,
Right.
stores like this.
Yeah.
Because they, I know so many people that had stores, and right now they're sitting at home with a computer, and that's their store, which I never liked that. I mean, I like person to person, like people to pick up something and know what they're getting and know how much it is and know what shape it's in. So anyhow, I sort of stayed away from the computer thing, but then I needed it, and so he
So
was
you
going
had
to do
more.
this.
You had more going on than any of this right here.
This
and
is
this guy
all
was going to
the
walk in.
last 2 years. A lot of this has changed.
And he was going to
Yeah.
walk in. He was going to set you up with
he
eBay.
actually sat on that little table. I even put that table there. He was going to come in and he was going to put everything online. But he ended up lying about a lot of things. First of all, he said Amazon doesn't give stores out now, so it has to be in his store, it has to be on his PayPal, it has to be in his. So this went on, and then he brought somebody in to help him, because he said he was also managing 3 other stores like mine, which also was a lie. I found out. So anyhow, but the money wasn't coming in. He always gave excuses. Well, Amazon doesn't pay right away, and he didn't want to do eBay. I found out later he was thrown out of eBay. But so anyhow, eventually he was then told me about a millionaire friend he has of his that wanted to buy everything, but in weekly amounts, like $2,000 every 2 weeks or something like that.
Or was it basically him just selling portions?
Well, no, he ended up filling up his van and bringing them to his millionaire friend, and then when he came back, I said, well, did he like him? He said, oh, yeah. And I said, well, did he pay for him? He said, well, no, he doesn't pay for him right away. He says, we got to give him a chance to sell him, I said, oh, I thought this was a millionaire friend,
Yeah.
So then one
sense.
of my clients came in, one of my customers, and said, wow, we saw all your toys over at Quakes. And I said, what do you mean you saw my toys? Who's a friend of mine? And, I called him, and I said, David, I said...
How do they know they were your toys? How do they know?
Because they had the same price tags on.
Oh, my...
And the way they know how I put my little Star Wars like this in plastic bags, which David never does. And they just knew they were mine.
So he was pretty confident that he was ripping you off if he didn't even bother to take off the tags.
Oh, no, he didn't do that. No, he sold them to David. And I asked David, I said, you buying my toys from Greece? And he says, yes. Didn't you know that? And I said, no, I didn't know that. And I said, don't you pay for them? And he was like, paid in cash. Well, that was the end of that.
Wow.
In the meantime, I'm still fighting it, still with lawyers. And
So it has gone legal.
well, the only thing I could do was go to small claims court, and which I won. There's a judgment against him. He owes me $9,700.
Good for you.
Yeah, but he doesn't pay because he has no money, supposedly. There was no other people that he was doing. It was, it was just a front. And I called everybody I knew that had a store and talked to them. And they either knew him and called him a con artist, or they said, oh my God, how did you ever get stuck with that? I just was very foolish.
So just to add to this, what would, for anyone out there who's in this situation, what is the next legal step for someone that doesn't want to pay, or is it just you? Like, do you sell it off to a collections agency, or
Right now, no. Right now, what I'm doing, I'm going through another lawyer, and he's going to. He's a collection lawyer, and I don't know whether he'll ever do it, whether he get any money out of him, because he has nothing to say.
Wow, I'm sorry that happened to you, Kaye.
Well, but it's
But
happened
he
to
got
other
caught.
people.
You know, he got caught.
Yeah, but he's done it before,
Hmm.
from what I hear, according to other people. He's getting away with it. So you have to be careful what you do, you know, when you talk. Anyhow, as it turns out, you know, I was very foolish because I didn't understand the internet, you know, and when he did it, he had my grandson actually doing all the packing, so we shipped it off to people, and it went into his account.
Wow.
In the beginning, he was paying us gradually, but little bits here, never enough. You know.
So since then, have you kind of made yourself more online aware, like as far as eBay and
Well, I
Amazon, or
don't
just,
do a lot.
just do more of the-
My grandson actually does some for me.
Okay.
He does. He's put some on Amazon or eBay. Yeah. Don't do a lot of it. And I've
Okay.
been doing the flea market on Sundays. That helps a little bit.
Wolf's Flea Market?
Wolves, yeah.
Yeah.
Wolves Flea
Yeah.
Market. And I do the King County Toy Show twice a year.
Which we hope to be there.
Oh,
coming
it's a
up.
wonderful show. It's you know, it's not as big as it used to be, but it's still.
See, don't hype it up and then you're like, oh no, it sucks now. You can't do that. I was totally just
No,
planning
well,
this out.
it's wonderful. It's still a good show, you know. In fact, the
doubts.
first thing every time we did that show for 25 years, and my daughter and I would do it, and of course I'd set up my tables and I'd spend all the time selling things, and then she'd run around and buy, because that's the only place you could find things. Like this.
Do you want to walk this way? Because I know
Sure.
you got some of these pretty cool Hollywood figures coming out here. I mean, you have
We
like
always
3
have
MC
done
Hammers
a lot.
in here.
Yeah, we've always done a lot.
It's more
with,
MC Hammers than anyone has today.
celebrities. I like celebrities. I mean,
Okay.
I like the Diana Ross and the Cher dolls and the Kiss and the Michael Jacksons. That's the kind of thing I really like, you know.
How'd you end up with like the Hollywood figures? How did you end up stocking up on these? Because I personally, I don't see them in many collections. Are there?
Well, toy shows, King County Toy Show, that's where you find them. Or other toy shows, doll shows. There used to be a lot more doll shows than there are now. And once you have a store, people find you.
So what's the
Yeah.
O.J. Simpson market like now?
I just sold one. I've had that for a while. I've had 2 of them. The other one I sold about 2 months ago. A lot of people, they're always interested in it, but nobody wants it, you know. But
Are any of these Hollywood pieces your favorite? Like one that stands out more than the other? Because I see you have like Farrah Fawcett over here. You have
John Travolta.
Yeah, John Travolta.
Yeah,
You have the
Suzanne
swing guy.
Summers. There's Laverne and Shirley. I like them all. You know, I usually have more of the Mego figures, like Welcome Back, Kotter, and the Happy Days, and Dukes of Hazzard, and I don't have any of those now, but Marilyn Monroe's, I like those. I always like the Marilyn Monroe
All right.
dolls.
How did this happen, Kaye? How did Archie Bunker's grandson became
It's a really nice
yeah,
doll.
I don't know.
think
I don't even know how to explain this.
originally-
How does this happen?
Originally, one of my grandsons had a Joy Civic doll. And you know, just ended up. I have another one over there
In
that's
its
been
heyday,
played with,
was this
but this one was
popular?
not
Was this
played.
actually popular?
I have no idea because I still have this and nobody buys it. They
So
all
no.
like it, but nobody buys it. Tell me why.
Are you a lot of weed, maybe,
Oh,
to
no.
what went into creating this? I'm pretty sure.
It's a nice doll. The
Yeah.
first anatomically correct baby doll. Supposedly.
Yeah. So he's a fortified. The Archie Bunker's fortified grandson, baby. Cool. Thank you very much. Let's walk around your store. Okay, I'm actually gonna trek through this solo unless you want to
I
accompany
always
me.
do things with, Three Stooges. I like the Three Stooges. Ventriloquist dolls have always been big. Gone with the Wind or Wizard of Oz. Or Elvis, James Dean. I don't have many Elvis dolls now. I used to have so many of them.
Here. What's up? What time is your mom picking us up? She has my inhaler.
So, David kind of gave us a small tour of the store, but he's not, like I said earlier, a collector like I am.
Okay.
He's just the kind of
Okay.
the everyday
Yeah,
schlub.
right.
I see here some Star Wars stuff.
Yeah, these are vintage ones. They're just not in the package.
These
These are,
guys,
from
you
the
gotta-
70s.
You guys can see that there. the original Star Wars stuff. Is there a glare? No glare?
A little bit.
We're good. Here, I'll tilt it.
There.
You can see some original Stormtroopers. You got a Leia in there, some Sand People. There's a Greedo. Good Lord. There's a X-Wing pilot down there. General Akbar. Oh, trap. You know, they're all in there. You know, and it always, no matter whether you're in the line or not, or if you care for the line. Like me, I'm not really, I got rid of all my Star Wars stuff, but it always brings a good feeling to me when I see vintage Star Wars stuff. You know, it's just, I know the value of it.
Everybody remembers their names.
Exactly. It's
Yes.
like you just know. There's a Boba Fett hiding right in there. I didn't even see him. Look at that guy. Oh, but then I noticed there's a Snaggletooth in there as well. But here I noticed you've got carded figures in here.
Yeah,
as well
these
as
are
a few more
vintage
loose.
ones. There's actually some Jedi or Empire Strikes Back.
I see a Leia, a couple Leias, a Chewie. You know, you've got the Luke over there. Anakin Skywalker. For those that don't know, Anakin Skywalker does become Darth Vader, but who does not know that? You know. But what I'm impressed with, look at this Vader. Look at this original Vader. I've never seen a Vader like this. You know, like I said, I'm not a huge Star Wars guy, but I know good stuff when I see it. And this is a very, very nice Vader. Very fairly priced, too, for the condition that it's. This is great condition. But then when you look at the carded specimens that are here. Original line R2-D2.
Well, that was a 12-back.
That's
I
a
had a whole
12-back,
set
I
of
know.
12-back, but they were all taken out of the card.
They did a 12 and they did a
Which
21 back
at one
as well.
time, probably, you know, I've got 75 on this, but it was probably worth $300 if it wasn't taken out of the card.
Right.
Yeah.
You got a Jawa, C-3PO, Sand People. And you got a lot from Return of the Jedi and Empire Strikes Back as well. Still great pieces. See, now, for those that don't know and they're not familiar with condition and everything, you've got two of the same character right here, the Lobit. Why is one marked at 100 and one at 45? Can you elaborate on that?
Probably because of condition.
Okay.
Usually because of the condition. Makes a big difference.
They're still nice pieces. Very nice pieces. This one's Mexico, it says on here.
Yes, that was one that was made in Mexico. They also did Star Wars too, you know.
Yeah, of course. Star Wars is worldwide.
Juarez.
Yeah.
And to
this
some
is-
people it makes it a little more special because of this.
Yeah. But man, some of the pieces in here, just great. And there's a couple other pieces in the store that caught my eye. But I mean, look at C-3PO here. Oh, of course, Lando. Who does not love Lando? Good Lord. David's pointing at my crotch for some reason. Oh, the little carded guys here.
Those are probably Empire. That was a mail away.
Okay.
Here's one that's opened. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
that was
it's a
one
white
that you-
box. All right.
In order
Thanks
to
for
get it,
pointing
you
that out, David.
Probably had to, you know, send into some of the.
Mail away.
Mail-aways,
Emperor
yeah.
Palpatine there.
Yeah.
That's pretty. And this was from Empire, you said?
I think that might have been from Jedi. I'm
Okay.
not sure. Yeah.
Still pretty good. And a lot of people with mail order toys from back then, a lot of people didn't keep the shipping boxes. They just took the figure out, tossed the box to the side. And this can really, really determine the value of a figure nowadays. You know.
Well, if any of these figures, you know,
Oh, right.
the first thing they did in most days is
But
tear
especially-
open the box.
But especially the mail like
Oh,
the
yes,
mail
that's
boxes
cool,
like this,
sure.
because there's nothing on it. A lot of people just
Right.
take the toy out, chuck it to the side. You know. There's a couple other items I want to spotlight, but in the meantime, we're gonna go back to David because I know he found something else. So, David, what did you find? Dun, dun, That's right. That's right. Yeah. Boom! Massive explosion sound effects here.
Right. Thanks a lot, Junior. Here we are with a toy, kind of like an oddity. Like I wouldn't normally expect to find this
I've
at
not
any
seen
toy
it
store.
anyplace else. We
It is,
bought it at a show about 4 years ago, I think.
It's a puppet. It has
It's
a marionette.
It's
yeah,
a marionette.
it's-
Yes, and it's very limited. I think there was only like 500 of them made, 600 of them made.
Okay, how did this happen? How did this become like were marionettes big at some point?
Oh,
And-
some company, I guess, made it, and that was it. I don't know. We also had a what's the name of the gal? It was the red with black. You cut off. No, I'm sorry. Can't
It's
think of
fine.
her
It's fine.
name.
I found this other guy here who's pretty cool. Kind of like missing that cape and cowl, but check this out. What year is this from?
I think 72.
Yeah, Bruce Wayne, Sans mask.
Holy cow, Robin, a Catwoman's loose. To the back counter.
Oh, the back copter! Yes, let's do this.
That sounds pretty
I
good.
feel like I have to go because I'm late. Like, let's make this happen. How did you walk into these guys? Like, especially this. Was this just at a show? Someone selling this?
Probably, yes, just bought it at a show. This I know we've bought at a toy show.
Would there be any issues if you actually constructed a cape in California? Like, would you just have to
Well, you
research
have to
the
tell
material?
people. You can tell. You know.
You
I
can
mean,
tell?
You have to tell people that's, you know. I don't think it'd be too hard to. I keep saying when you do it, but I haven't yet. You know.
Yeah, this is a really good knickknack just to sit on. I see you had it on a stand. I pull it down, but
Yeah.
this would be something cool just to like. You have guests over, coming over, and you're like, hey, let's see what Batman says.
Holy cow, Robin, my Catwoman's loose. To the Batcopter.
Well, he says the same thing over again.
guess so.
It's very urgent that we get the Catwoman. Cool. Let's move on to another
Okay,
section.
fine.
All right.
You're going to ask me something.
Blast for the past, people. Teddy Ruxpin and friends. What?
Robbie.
Now, do these come as a set? Do you ever?
Well,
do
it'd
you
be
intend
nice
send
to
them?
sell them as a set. I tried to keep it together, you know. These are all different outfits, adventure outfits for him.
Adventure outfits.
Well, yeah.
How did you come across this collection right here? I mean, same
My
thing.
daughter
Your
bought
daughter?
it. Yeah, she always was able to find a lot of good stuff.
I can't even tell you when's the last time I saw anything Teddy Ruxpin. Do you know if he still works? I mean, he's never been open, right?
I don't think that one's been opened. I don't know if he has or not. I do have another loose one out of the box, and I haven't been able to get him to work, so I don't know.
Can you put different types of cassettes in the Teddy Ruxpin, or does it have to be the one?
Oh yes, I've got all the cassettes. But you know the books, they come with books and cassettes. I've got a lot of the books and cassettes.
Oh, who's this guy? Is this from Pee Wee?
Yeah, that's Vance, the Talking Pig. That's from Pee Wee Herman's Playhouse. Yeah.
Oh,
I used to have Pee Wee's Playhouse and him and the big ones.
Munchkin Land. One
That's
of your personal
Amigo,
favorites
yeah.
right here?
That's Amigo, in 1976. The Emerald City is probably the one that most people had as
How
far
big
as
is
a
this
play
thing?
set.
This is huge.
Yeah,
Can I
take
pull
it
it
down
down?
if you want, sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna knock everything over. Oh my God! Why are there buttons on this?
Well, because there's things that you move inside here. And there's the yellow brick road. This is,
Oh, I see. Okay.
yeah, all those, move all those things.
Button broken.
And then there's the other side here too. It's
Nice.
Munchkin Land.
Wow, this is actually a pretty cool playset. It's like an old lady's house where everything's like in plastic. No offense. I mean, all my aunts pretty much live this way. How the Munchkins
Covered
live.
everything with plastic.
Yes. Thank you so much for having us. We had such a great
Welcome.
time.
Enjoyed having you here.
Your toys were touched by us, and we had
That's
a lot of
over there.
fun playing with everything here. And I hope the viewers out there would come and check out Forever
I
Young.
hope they do.
You'll have a lot of fun, and as a collector, I'm pretty sure you'll find a lot of what you need here. Can you tell us again where we can find you?
7701 West Belmont.
Any .coms? Any Facebooks?
Not really. No, I'm not.
What's up?
I do.
All right, give us the full address then. Full address.
7701 West Belmont. Elmwood Park, Illinois, 60707.
All right.
We're just west of Harlem.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Had a great time.
Okay, I did too.
Hey guys, we're here with Cary talking about Heroes of Cosplay, SyFy's latest costume-related show. I personally see it. We're trying to envision this as them jumping off of Face Off, their last success of the visual effects contest. You saw this, Cary. You're a cosplayer.
No heroes and Heroes of Cosplay.
That sucks, man.
It's a bad show, in my opinion. It is totally exploiting the pop culture aspect of it.
Contest based.
It's contest based with some of the most unlikely people I have ever seen on a show.
Unlikely, as in they got some strangers. And
No,
they're like, "Here."
unlikely. These are actually people that do this for a living. So it's not even normal people cosplaying. It wouldn't be like me with my, lower end costumes.
Okay.
It's people who do this professionally, who then are competing. This is how they make their living.
So are there challenges like, hey, go make a
No,
Iron
there
Man
isn't
shoulder
nothing.
plate?
It's just we went to, C2E2 and there's a $1,000 prize and we need to get our costume ready, and oh my god, I'm not going to make the deadline, and oh, I hate you because we didn't do this, and oh, I hate you because you didn't do.
Are they shots where they try to connect with them personally, like go to their studio and see how they assemble
You
their
could see a little
costumes?
bit, but I was hoping that's what it would have been. You would see little clips of, oh my god, this went wrong. We need to fix this, and then they spray something. You don't even see the process. And
okay.
and
So
it's-
the
it's
engineering and the craft
nothing.
part of it.
It's drama.
doesn't exist.
It's drama. It's simply people you don't like competing and getting all worked up, and it's
Drama
horrible.
could be many things. Like, what are we talking about? Like this cosplayer talks crap about that other cosplayer.
Well, there's some of that, not too horrible, but just
Drama.
a lot of over, oh my god, my costume will never
So
be
the
ready.
music comes
yeah,
up and
or
that was bad music. Sorry.
just unlikely people. There's no other way to describe it. These aren't what I consider normal.
Who to you would be a likely person? Because I mean, I don't cosplay, so any
But-
other
but-
cosplayer
but-
is a likely
but
candidate.
But you're not.
Okay,
you
so
would've-
that's why.
you
Help
would've-
me out here. Who's a likely candidate?
I would have rather seen regular cosplayers, someone who does this as a hobby, not as this is how I make my living, or even if that's
Oh, I see,
or
I see.
even because that's all this is about is we're going to make or someone who's it became about money. It didn't become about the process.
I'm trying to throw examples your way, but a lot of the professional cosplayers who
Yeah, even-
who sell their pinup work, who sell their
Exactly.
photos.
Well,
They
that's
are-
one
they
of
are
the
close friends
judges,
of ours, but-
or there's people who one of the people on there, they have an effects studio, and that's great. And if you're going to push the effects studio, awesome. Or there was another one. Oh, I do this professionally. I do this. I enter all the contests, and that's great. But these are people who are throwing thousands and thousands of dollars into a costume, and if you
Right.
can do it, that's cool. But they're not showing what I would consider Joe average. I cosplay, but I do it on a lower level. I do it on a somewhat affordable level. A lot of basic stuff. Some of my stuff's a little more involved, and the process is what it is. But I wasn't even getting any hints on the process.
You're in a cosplay group, correct?
No, not at all.
Aren't you part of a
Nope.
group or some kind
Nope,
of
I just do my own stuff.
Well, from other cosplayers, have you heard like
That's
the
what
general
I'm hoping.
opinion
I
from it?
actually posted something online, and I'm waiting to hear. So if anyone watching the show is a little more into cosplay than I am, like I said, I don't compete. I do it because I enjoy it. I go to Wizard World. I dress up. The last costume I did was a cheesy, muscle Iron Man that
At
I
Wizard World,
embellished.
there was a costume contest. Aren't they usually? There's always
Right,
a costume contest. at
but
the
here's the
convention.
thing about the Wizard World that we went to. You're talking maybe $100 prize. I talked to one of the guys that does it, and it actually has the money and spent a lot of money in his costume, but he was having fun.
Okay.
These people don't even seem like they're having fun in it. It's I need to make the money.
I
I need
see.
I need to be discovered. I need to be the next big star. Or one guy didn't win. Well, I don't understand why I didn't win. I should have won.
Okay,
You don't wanna
if
hear
you're
that.
a cosplayer, what are you being discovered for?
I
Are
You
you
got me.
are you trying to be discovered for a new reality show?
I
Are you-
think that's what it's become. I think
I
that's
know
the problem.
At Wizard World, I actually ran in. We all ran into some cosplayers who professionally they create costumes, like
Right.
the Power Rangers guys. They made the
Right.
ninja outfits. So
Well,
would that be a good thing? Like
Yeah,
if
I mean,
they
listen,
win and they get to
I-
plug their personal store?
I don't have a problem. I think that makes sense. They're winning for that. But the problem was it didn't focus on that. This show focused on winning the big money, winning the prize. It just lacked. It lacked heart.
Okay.
I hate using that word, but there's no other way to describe it. These weren't people. I got the impression, these are people that do this and they enjoy it, but you weren't getting any of the enjoyment out of watching this show.
So-
You got the nastiness.
Where's the? Is there do you see any type of like in your heart? You see like any general fear like what would be the next step of this? Like all of a sudden you go from hobbyists to people that want to make money off this.
I think it's
How
gonna-
does this affect cosplay?
I
in
think it's going to
general?
get ugly. I believe you're going to see a lot of ugliness, like a lot of the the pop culture stuff that we've seen with the comic books, where it used to be people going to the conventions and having fun too, or sorts of the toy scalping that we talked about, where it became okay, it's a little, and then it became this big monstrosity with these outrageous prices, and I'm having a hard time articulating what I'm trying to say, but I do get the general gist. I think it's creating a monster, and I think it's creating a monster that doesn't need to be created.
Somewhere where something was friendly, you did it because
Right.
you know the genre, all of a sudden becomes something competitive.
Becomes competitive, becomes nasty. becomes and discourages people from the hobby, because now you've got these guys competing for big money, spending big money on prizes. If someone just wants to start out, they're going to be like, well, or enter a contest for that. You guys wrote Wizard World, you saw the costume.
Yeah.
You had a good variety of guys who just, threw something together and made it look cool. Then you had the guys who invested a lot of money. And were there.
I can see that. I
Okay,
definitely
so
see
now
that.
if it becomes, well, it's about prize money. Well, I don't have $1,000 to throw at a machine. Or why should I even bother? You take away that element. You take away the mix, because now it's all about the almighty dollar, or being recognized, as opposed to, you know what, I dressed up. I wanted to dress up. I had
Right.
fun. But now I'm intimidated to do it because of these other guys.
Aside from the negatives,
Yes.
what could be a positive? I personally see that it's attracting attention to cosplay, to the cosplay community.
The positive that I could see about it is, okay, you may get a new shop name out of it. You may see a new technique. Oh, this broke. We put this together. They showed a life cast. I know how life cast is done, but if you've never seen it, it's okay. But they also were showing what could go wrong, which was cool. It's good to see. But like I said, it was so little of that and more about the once again the drama
Right,
of
right.
it, that it became unenjoyable. It became unwatchable. Because
Okay.
these were people that you sat there and said, you know what, I don't care about any of this.
How much more satisfied would you have been if they cut out just half of that drama and replaced it with more of the
I would have been
craft
thrilled.
aspect?
I would have liked to have seen a show about just the crafting. I would have liked to have seen, or focus on one person, not the whole, not 4 people or 5 people. Show one person's journey
Into the contest.
Into the contest. I started with this, and not even so, I would like to win, and as opposed to I have to win, or I need to be discovered. You know what? Someone who started from scratch entered the contest, and they placed, and they did this or they did that. And even if they failed, they said, okay, you know what? I know what I did wrong. I'll fix this next time. As
Okay.
opposed to the
All right.
sulking, as opposed to the, damn, I didn't win, or damn, I can't make a career out of this now, or damn, why didn't I win? Because that's what they showed. They didn't show, someone going, oh well, next year. They showed they showed people going, well, why didn't I win?
I think you've built my interest. I want to see this. I want to see
Well,
how bad it was.
if anyone watching the show, please contact us, because like I said, I am a low-level cosplayer. I build my stuff from scratch. Most of my stuff takes a while, or I embellish. I'll do a segment at some point. Just embellish basic costumes, and I have fun with it. I've competed a little bit on Halloween, but you do it for fun. And I've never, I've never felt the urge. It'd be nice to win a prize, but it's not the reason why I do it.
So you see this as another, for the lack of a better term, another found money type show?
You need to define that. I'm not sure what that specifically what you mean.
I've only put it in that category because you're making your own thing. You're kind of building your own costume, and you go out and try to cash in.
I think it has the potential of found money. I like I said, if you're doing it anyways, let me put it this way: if you're doing it first because you enjoy it, and you go, you know what, I'm digging this. Let's see how far I can go with it, and make a buck. That's great. If you are doing it for an alternative goal, if an alternative goal is your primary,
Well, now
Yeah.
from here, what if we get more of these professional costume stores? What if that becomes kind of like a
well, like I
leaping
said,
out of this?
if it
That's not bad.
time will tell.
I wouldn't mind a pretty cool Power Rangers
Time will
costume. I mean,
tell.
granted, it wouldn't look so
But
hot on me, but I
if they're
wouldn't-
good, they'll make it that way.
Exactly, I wouldn't
know?
mind that. If that kind of
Listen,
exposure isn't bad.
if things do come out of it, that's great.
But
From
I can
what
see-
I saw, I wasn't getting that impression. It was a me, mine.
Right. I see how assuming just because you had a sexy costume on, all of a sudden you're gonna be a major star somehow. But as opposed to the guy who's probably in the contest, he actually crafts this and wants to retail these out. That'd be pretty cool.
That was cool. Some of the people said, "Hey, I want to use this as a springboard." I get that, but it just like I said, they were just so unlikable. I couldn't get into it. I would have rather seen. What was it? Did you see? What was it? A Fan's Journey. Do you know what was the
Are you
name of
talking
that?
about episode 4?
Episode
Oh,
4,
yeah,
okay.
all right, yeah.
The girls that won the costume contest in that, the Mass Effect girls.
Yes.
They're in this. I don't like them in this, but when they were in that show, it was great because it showed them. You saw the techniques,
So
you saw the effort, you saw the competition, and they were like, "God, I hope we win," but they weren't crying about whether they won or
the
lost.
drama part was actually more
Right.
hurtful to them,
Right.
as professionals. It was
Right.
more okay.
You know, so you got to see the whole process and the ride to it, as opposed to this.
All right, Cary.
thing.
Out of 4 stars, how do you rate it?
Oh God, I unwatchable.
A quarter star.
A
No stars?
star,
No
a
stars?
star. Unless they change the format. I've only seen one issue, and that's why I said I would like if anyone's seen the show.
one issue.
What? One episode. blah blah blah. You know, voice your opinion. This is just my opinion. I don't like to watch that type of show. I want to see the process. I want
Alright.
to see more information involved, and some characters that I actually, some people that I actually want to see do well or
Alright.
move
Heroes
forward.
of Cosplay from practically no stars to 1 star range.
So let it fire away, guys. Let me know.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us.
Awesome.
Adrian, when did Batman and Steel have a baby? Adrian, hey,
Oh, my fault. What's up, dude?
what are you listening to, man?
Spinner Rack, dude. You ever heard of Spinner Rack?
Oh, what's the spinner rack?
Spinner Rack is a brand new podcast hosted by Big B, Brian Adams, and myself. Now on iTunes and at thespinnerrack.podbean.com. Check it out for the latest in all your great comic book conversations.
Sounds great.
So this was episode 10 of Comics Remixed, where we spotlighted Forever Young. We talked about heroes of cosplay. David's daughter's sitting behind us, acting a fool.
Thanks, Sadie, for getting the shot.
Show. And, we talk stuff like we always do. Join us next week where Cary gives you his new 101, which is all about collecting comics. Also, if you have a collection you want to spotlight, we're doing a new segment called Collector's Case, where we're going to go and spotlight your personal collection. So if you're interested in being on the show and showing off your collection to all of the many viewers out there, please contact us at comicsremixed@gmail.com. You can always find us on social media, any of our past episodes, our reviews, the spinner rack, everything, all on comicsremixed.com. That is
Facebook, Twitter,
all that other good stuff. Yeah.
The .com.
Yep.
We're there.
So pretty much, comicsremixed.com is your hub for everything Comics Remixed, no matter what the show or segment is. So thank you for watching. Join us next week when Cary gives you a rundown on how to collect comics. Till then, I'm still me, he's still him, we're still here. Thank you for watching. Good night. Now, since I don't open my toys, this is how David imagines I play with them. Like, since they're in the package, I just be like, "Hey, what are you doing? I don't know. Oh, I beat him." Which would be a funny way to play, but then you don't get all the action.
Junior, that's how you play with your toys.
That's not how I play with my toys. You leave me alone. I don't play with my toys at all. Jerk.